No.
But no,
Well,
no,
somebody
sorry,
has a question
Gabrielle.
about it, you can.
All right, yay.
Yay!
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
you so much. So this is a special, we've got an all new kind of live going on right now. Oh my goodness, my volume. So as you can see, we are in our home studios, so to speak. And today we are joined with Gabriela, of course, of Bésame, and Claire is a fantastic makeup artist. She's worked all over film and television, and she's going to be talking mostly with Gabriela about her life and career and also, the state of makeup today. So I'm Amber. I will be answering your questions. Oh, we already have people saying hello. Hello from Pennsylvania.
Hello.
Yay. Thanks for joining.
Yay. So if you have questions for Claire or questions for Gabriela as we go along, please ask them and I will bring them up throughout. And that's about it for me. So Gabrielle, take it away. And Claire, of course, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Well, I wanted to say a few words about Claire. If you're not familiar with her work, I've met her at the Makeup Artists Union. She's a union artist, and she's worked all over Hollywood. I mean, she's done the pirate movies and the the Spider-Man movies and all of these things. Most recently, Bombshell she worked on. Also, American Horror Story. For several episodes. She also did a little bit of Hollywood that is currently running on Netflix. Glee and Prom Queen and all kinds of good stuff. So she's a veteran of the industry, and I wanted to talk to her a little bit about the industry in general, because obviously all the studios have shut down, and all the artists are at home, and people are thinking. I'm sure a lot of people are, other artists are thinking, or people are saying, what are artists going to do now? Because all of this social distancing, how do you do makeup on people with all these new rules and regulations? So I wanted to see if you could tell us a little bit about what all your community is saying about these things.
We're still, even though we're on our 8th week right now of being home. I know.
Oh my goodness!
I have a 7-year-old, and so she's in homeschool, and so every week I get a syllabus and I'm writing the agenda. And I was just curious. I counted week 8. Here we are. So it's hard to believe, but I think of this period. It's kind of like a mourning period. Like we went through such a shock and a loss, and everything kind of stopped really suddenly at first, and there was a scramble to kind of make sense of what to do in the moment, and also just a general panic of your own safety and health. I remember working on a TV show right before everything shut down, and 5 days later getting an email saying one of our crew members has symptoms, and just thinking, do I have it? And here I am all these weeks later, and no symptoms, so I guess I'm okay. but those first weeks, I think, were just that were very unsettling emotionally, just to kind of know what to do, and whether it was our careers or finding food or just the safety of our loved ones. But now there's a lot of talk about coming back. Our country is not in unison across the states of the restrictions, which is unsettling. Personally, I feel a little unsettling. But so I get friends from other states even emailing me and asking me questions, and I have to say I'm very grateful that I'm a part of Local 706, a union that looks out for our health and our safety and our wellness. And so, as union members, I don't know if some people know this, we are required to take safety classes. They are everything from general safety, hazardous safety. I mean, I know things about forklifts that I never thought I would need to know about. But, and so being that we're dealing with how this virus transmits in different places, this isn't just a makeup issue. This is an everything and everybody issue. We're still waiting. We're still waiting to understand, what the safety precautions are. And I really look to my union for that information, because it's not just coming from them. They're consulting with um, OSHA and all sorts of other reputable places to just really understand what's the safe way for us to work and to go back to work, and how we implement our work. So, there's a lot of journalism out there that's just trying to put out ideas, and I think I'm trying to take a break from it emotionally and mentally, because it can cause a lot of panic, and it's not, nothing's happened yet. So we're waiting.
But you already did these type of things anyways, as far as like sanitizing all your
Yeah,
things and wearing masks and things like that. You already did this
we did.
before, right?
Absolutely. That's the thing, is I feel there's been a lot of fingers pointing towards craft service, catering, makeup and hair. When, a friend of mine mentioned this in one of her lives last week, she said, we're the solution, we're not the problem. We already have sanitation practices in place to do our job. A hairdresser has to pass a state board cosmetology license. This isn't something where you just wake up and walk onto a studio lot and all of a sudden, boom, you have a job. We have, and even like I said, as union makeup artists, you have to take these safety courses and pass them to be able to work on set. So we have a lot of training. Again, this isn't someone I just like lipstick and now I have a job at work. That's not how it works. At least, it doesn't work like that with union productions. So, and we have to get recertified. So I think they can look to us actually for some of this information. We sanitize our tools, we wash our hands, we're touching faces and hair and body. We are using beauty makeup, we're using effects makeup. I mean, we are always very mindful of keeping things sanitary, because especially we don't want to infect our tools and our supplies, and we don't want to infect our clients as well. That would, have a horrible effect on
Oh,
our
sure.
career.
Yeah, just if people have a cold, I mean, it could do all kinds of havoc on a set if somebody's
Absolutely.
sick and it spreads. So I'm sure that you have to keep things very very clean and sanitized in order just for the
Absolutely.
safety of all the actors that you're dealing with as well.
Absolutely. And it's something I've always been mindful of, even before I had a child, and was, when I was pregnant, I was trying to even be more, mindful of getting sick. It's just something, if someone had a cough, we would wear a mask. If I was a little under the weather, I'd wear a mask. My doctor did the same thing when I went for a visit. He said he was getting over a cold. He wore a mask. And I would hope that after this, the stigma would be taken away for those practices, because you show up to work and you do this and people kind of look at you like, oh, what's the matter, what's wrong with you? I
Yeah.
would hope that they would embrace it more. I was actually working on a motion capture shoot back in January for a video game, and one of the technicians, he was coughing the whole day, and I just thought so, and I remember offering him, like, would you like a mask? He's like, no, I'm fine. And I'm thinking, and everyone kind of patted him on the back at the end of the day, saying, oh, wow, thanks for showing up. I know you're not feeling well. Thanks for showing up. And I was
Oh
thinking,
no.
I'm like,
Oh no.
why not wear a mask? Like,
Yeah.
and I think there's that, again, people, they want to hide behind the fact that they're sick. They're like, I'm fine, but
Yeah, I mean, they don't realize that it affects other people, though. That
oh
they
yeah,
might think that they're doing a good thing by showing up to work sick, but then if they infect all these other people, they're not actually doing anybody any favors by showing up to work when you're sick. So, yeah, I know that we have a stigma with the masks here, where in other countries people are really not
it's more
phased by
accepted.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like I
socially
think
accepted.
yeah, all the Asian countries
Hmm.
are very used to wearing masks and they don't have any issue. Here, you see somebody with a mask, and right away you're like, "What's wrong with that person?"
Right. Yeah, and
It's like the first thing you think of is like, "Is something wrong with that person?" Or yeah,
exactly. And I have a friend that is an American that's been in Hong Kong since 2002, I believe, and so I was talking with him, before everything shut down, even here, just talking and kind of getting some information. And when we did shut down, he just gave me a lot of good information, just to help me when I would send video links, like, is this what I'm supposed to do with my groceries? And is this what I'm supposed to do with the mask? And, he was really informative. And because they'd been through it before with SARS, and they've been through it.
Right.
And it's also, he mentioned a lot of things that just in their customs that are just more acceptable with being germ conscious. He said we take off our shoes, before we go into a home. And if you have to wear shoes in your home out of comfort, there's a pair of shoes designated for just in the home. We wear masks, whether, you're sick or it's just sick season,
Right.
And it's just, it's, like I said, it's more part of their culture than it is ours. And I would hope that after this, you can see a lot of people having a lot of fun with their masks, with the fabrics and the patterns. And so, I would just hope when we're done with this that I wouldn't get the smears, that I have in the past when I've worn a mask. So
I don't think you will at this point. So at home, you have a child. So how are you keeping kind of a routine going, at home?
Well,
between the homeschooling and everything else that's going on.
A friend of mine made it good mention. She said, make weekends feel like weekends.
Yes, so, I agree with that.
Yeah, and because now that you're home, you kind of get into this. I could tackle all these projects that I've been wanting to do forever. So I really try to kind of keep weekends feeling like weekends. And school, so we actually, my daughter's school in Los Angeles, we had that Thursday, Friday, actually, she was out of school for teacher conference meetings, and they canceled those. We were actually supposed to go to Disneyland instead.
Oh my goodness.
And so by Wednesday the following week, they had homeschool up and running. So we didn't have that many days of doing, with no agenda. And so we're now on week 8 of homeschool, and that really, I feel like I've got this focus and this purpose, like, we've got to get this done. And so that really helps. So anything I want to do personally, I usually plan around her schedule with when she has her live meetings with school.
That's great. So do you have any tips for us that are at home and are kind of feeling like it's a never-ending day, and we're just kind of not enthused to put on makeup or to change our clothes or make our bed or any of these things?
I've been a freelance makeup artist for it's going to be year 20. In May right now. I graduated college in May 2000. So, so I've been a freelancer for a long time. And so I've had an irregular work schedule for a long time. And so I found it was always, for me, even before I was married, before I had a child, to treat a workday like a workday. So that, if I wanted to go to the gym, I would go to the gym. I found like if I did it at, my exercising at like 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning or whatever it was, by the time I had showered and got dressed, I would be so happy to get work started before noon. If I was able to get started around 11 a.m. or 10 a.m., you do what works for you. But I would feel lousy if I didn't get started with work until 3 p.m. I just felt like most of the day was gone, and now I don't have that much time to get any work done. Now I have to make dinner. So, it doesn't have to be every day, but, maybe start with just one day that you schedule that you're going to put your clothes out the night before, just sort of creating a routine, like making a list maybe of what you want to accomplish that week and maybe breaking it up, between the days. It could be something as simple as, I want to reach out to 5 clients and friends and just say hi. You know, it could be something as grand as I want to work on, practicing prosthetic pieces. You know, so I mean, I'm a Virgo. I like routine. I like schedules. But yes, there's some days where you're just going to say that didn't work today.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm in agreement with that. I like to like build in like small accomplishments. I think that kind of carries you through the day, basically. And it starts. I read it a long time ago in actually a military. I was this general who wrote this. I like to read, all
Me
kinds of
too.
things. So yeah. So anyways, he said that the first thing that he did was make bed, like get up and make the bed.
Yep.
And the fact of making the bed kind of closed that part of the day, like, okay, I am up basically, and I accomplished something because the bed is made.
Yeah.
So I already started the day with a win, like I did something. So if you like do
Absolutely.
that, yeah, it's like a small thing, but it does kind of like click your head into like, okay, I'm not going in the bedroom again now until it's evening. I'm done with that part of the day. I'm
Right.
up, and now I'm doing something else. So
Right. Or even if you're in an apartment and your only space is your bedroom,
right.
It's like, well, at least the bed is made, and maybe
the bed is made. So
it's
you're
put
not
some
going
clothes
there.
on, like real clothes.
Exactly. At that point, yeah, put some clothes on. But at least you're not going into the bed again.
Correct.
You're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I had a couple, or one question from our watchers. Michelle Radlow says hi, Claire.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, wow, I love her.
And
She's a very, very talented makeup artist. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for watching, Michelle. And Kara Jean asked Claire, how did you get started in the makeup industry and then get involved in the film industry specifically?
Yes.
So growing up, I was not the sports kid. I was, the theater dance kid. And I did that, from a young age of, maybe 4 years old all the way up till college. And I went to Emerson College in Boston, which was very arts oriented and journalism oriented, which is probably why when I read some of these articles, I'm like, oh. And I really loved my college experience. I wanted to take as many classes as I could in everything. I took everything from set design and drafting. I did floor directing. I was in post-production. I was producing. I even did a costume design. Hated it. I tried things, and it was good to fail at them, as well.
Yeah.
And so one of the classes I took was a makeup class that was designed for theater students. And at the time, they didn't have the Bobby Brown makeup program like they do now. And so I took that class and something just really sparked. And I thought, I used to always do makeup in theater for our performances, and I would do it for dance. And I remember people would ask me, oh, I like what you did. Can you do mine? And so part of my college program was you had to do an internship for college credit. And I really wanted to do something that had to do with makeup. And I had the audacity to think, I could just call these labs. There was a lot of labs still, there was Stan Winston's lab and Rick Baker's lab. And I thought, I could just call them and see, maybe I could be an apprentice there. And I sent so many emails and maybe letters at the time, and I got absolutely no response. And so I was on the East Coast at the time, and Makeup Artist Magazine was something that I would purchase at Tower Records in Boston. And for me, it was kind of like a phone book, if people know what those are or were. And I looked through it as resources for contact information for people, because the internet was still very new. There was no Facebook, there was no Google, there was no, there wasn't all these things. that, you know, you could just at the quick click find the information for. So one of the things in there was for V's favorite brushes, and V Neal is a makeup artist that, you know, has won the most Oscars for women in the category, and she had this makeup brush business and brush rolls at the time. And so I knew somebody that knew her, and I said, you know, this is like my last chance. I'm thinking, you know, I need to get an internship, and I want it to be in makeup. I was determined it had to be in makeup. The easy route was to go and work at America's Funniest Home Videos, watching videos. Said, no, it has nothing to do with what I want for my career. I really want the focus. And so I was given V's number, and the person said, I'm giving you her number, but what you do with it, that's all on you. And so I was, of course, terrified. And so I looked at her business, and I approached her, and I remember meeting with her and saying, hey, it's January. And at the time, the makeup artist trade show used to be in June. And I said, how about I help you during my internship months, get you ready for the makeup artist trade show, and I can help you with your brush business. And I remember she kind of looked at me and thought, who is this girl? And she's just talking like this. And she kind of, you know, thought about it. She's like, well, I'll get back to you. And I think within that week, she actually got a call to be Johnny Depp's personal makeup artist for the movie Blow. And she had to go out of the country. And so she circled back, and she's like, that thing that you, whatever you said, like, yes, I'll do that. Like, that sounds great. And so I was her mentor. You know, I was helping her as you know, business assistant with V's favorite brushes. And, you know, just going forward, you know, then I graduated college, and then I was starting out my career and doing student films and every weird little job I could, still living at home with my parents. I also was temping. It was a job that I did a lot because I could sit in an office and use access to the internet to look for jobs. You know, and still have that flexibility. I really didn't want to go into retail. I had an offer for Isabella Rossellini's line when she had a makeup line that was at Bloomingdale's.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And Manifesto.
Yes, I remember. Yes. I was crazy about it.
It was beautiful. And so, I interviewed, and I said no, because I just did not want to get locked into retail. I'd worked in retail in high school, in college, and I knew that, you know, they're a business too. They have requirements and needs. And so I said, no, I will just stay at home living with my parents. I will make $8, you know, $12 an hour temping. And that's what I did. And about a year and a half, I think, into my career, I remember working on a terrible photo shoot that literally this like weird punk rock group that were holding a bowl of dog food and thinking it was funny and thinking, I hate my life. What have I done? And I got a call from V, and she said, dude, where are you? And I said, I'm in the Hollywood Hills on this photo shoot. And she's like, well, I need you now. I need you in Long Beach right now. And I said, I can't be there now because I'm committed to this whatever that's happening that people are excited about, but they're paying me, you know, so I showed my enthusiasm. And I said, but I can be there tomorrow. What do you need? She's like, I just need your help. We're prepping this movie as we film it. It's just a big mess. And my other assistant's just been sick, and I just need you to come help. I'm like, sure. So I had no questions, no, like, you know, are you going to pay for my gas? No, you know, nothing, not one question. I said, sure, no problem. And so I drove down. I lived near UCLA at the time, and I drove to Long Beach. I mean, that's not 5 miles away.
Yeah, no.
And I drove to Long Beach, and I remember showing up, and she's like, take this bucket of blood to set, and then here's some paperwork. I need you to bring this over to these people. I'll talk about it later. Oh, by the way, the movie's compared to the Caribbean. Don't laugh. I know it's based on the ride, whatever. Just we'll deal with it later. And I'm like, sure. And then 8 months went by, and you know, and in those months, I worked on the movie as the production PA. I was able to hire an additional PA that is also one of my good friends now, Nicole Bolin, and I also went on location with them for that movie. I went to the Caribbean for 6 weeks, so not the good Caribbean, but
Hey, that's great. I mean, but see, you were
Wow.
willing to do whatever, whatever it took to get what you wanted to
Just
do. So
keeping,
that's great.
but keeping just an open mind and
Yeah.
also a little bit of a focus. Like I said, and honestly, like as soon as I came back from working on Pirates, I went right back to temping. I there was no pride of like, oh, well, I've been on Pirates. Look at, I went right
Yeah.
back to making $12 an hour and people yelling at me to answer phones and did that because I wanted to. I always looked at my makeup career as a career and not a hobby, and so you have to think of it like a business. And how are you going to sustain a business? And so it might mean that side hustle of temping because I was good at typing. That was the one thing I could do. That's something people could work on at home. Get one of those books, practice typing.
Right.
Because that actually made me just resourceful. Even on the Pirate sequel, I remember I was helping with the manifest for the hair department when, because they said, "Oh, if makeup doesn't need you anymore, we'll hire you." And got me another 2
Hey.
weeks of work just because I could type really fast.
Oh,
So,
wow.
No,
yeah.
that's great.
We have another
Yeah.
quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Let's see.
That was long. I
Natalie.
apologize.
No, that was wonderful. I mean, it's always fascinating to hear these because they're so different. Every makeup artist's, story of origin is always so varied and cool.
Yes, my favorite holiday was Halloween, but other than that.
So from Natalie, we have what is one makeup product you can't live without in your personal kit or in your professional kit? So one for each if you want, or just your top favorites.
I still love Urban Decay primer potion for the eyeshadow primer. I feel like I use it on everybody, and I've tried so many products. I find that my eyelids are kind of oilier, and so I'm not going to say like other brand names, but I've tried them, and they just don't hold up. And when I even recommend it to clients, they always say that stuff really works. So, whether it's in the mini form or the large form, just that good purple tube primer potion. That's definitely something that doesn't fail me. I really love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And your personal one too? In your personal?
In my personal one? Ooh. Oh, it's funny. I still have it, and someone was laughing at me, and they said, "Didn't that come out like in the '80s or something?" I still think that Clinique has always been the company that makes really great lip colors, including yourself, and Black Honey from Clinique is still a favorite. It's like tinted lip balm,
like a sheer, right? Yeah,
it's
like
sheer. It
yeah,
doesn't have a
yeah.
weird taste. There's no sparkle. I know they tried to make it in the gloss once, and they tried to make it, but just I still always buy.
Yeah.
Clinique
It's
Black
a very
Honey.
famous one. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very famous one from them. Actually, it's one of those that
It's like the cherries and snow of Revlon.
basically, yes, yeah. It's been around so long, but people still like this product. But yeah, and it suits a lot of skin tones too. Yeah.
So many. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a color that's great for everybody. So I agree.
Awesome.
Cool. So if you guys have more questions, let us know. And then, Gabriela, if you want to
Yes,
get into more stuff.
Yes, I wanted because people are staying at home and we're not sleeping well. A lot of people are getting a lot of skin issues, like all kinds of things going on with your skin, either redness or you have like zits coming up and all kinds of things. What do you do at home to help with those?
My laundry.
Your laundry?
It's true.
Like do some meditation or
no, it's true. I think like it's funny, like and again, it could be like what day is it? Wednesday was kind of always the day that if I had my cleaning lady come, she always comes on Wednesdays, and that was the day that like I'd switch out the bath towels, switch out the sheets, and and she hasn't been with us, as the circumstances, and so we still kind of keep Wednesdays that day, and And I think that has a lot to do with skincare because, you know, whether you're at home or you're out and about, you know, I notice, at least with clients before all this happened, you know, they might say, oh, I tend to break out on one side, and it tends to be the side they hold their cell phone with, or it tends to be the side that they sleep on their, you know, with their pillow. And I ask them, like, well, how often do you wash your pillowcase, you know, or your sheets? And I've heard everything from, you know, weeks to months. And so,
Yeah, it's like jeans, you know, you never wash them.
yeah, so I would say that might be something to kind of just evaluate if that's happening. You know, because again, your hair and oils and dirt and everything. So if you're not washing your hair as frequently,
Sure, bacteria. Like there's more bacteria around. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
That gets on your pillowcase. So, you know, I mean, if anything, just change the pillowcase and throw it in a pile and do your laundry in a couple of weeks. But I would say kind of reassess that, you know, a little bit. You know, we're also moving from a different, we're going from winter into spring, and in Los Angeles, it's 100 degrees outside today. So,
yes, it's,
you know,
very, very hot.
You know,
Yes, very hot.
You know, some of your skincare could also be that, you know, maybe you need to move. I always say there's kind of your winter face and your summer face. You know, you might need, you know, the lighter foundation in the winter if you're not getting as much sun exposure. And the same thing with your moisturizer and cleanser. You know, you might need, you know, something a little less hydrating. You know, if it's not as dry, you know, or more hydrating if it's too dry. So just finding the
right.
I would say. But I
Yeah,
first
listen
thought
to
would ask them how often they do their laundry. Would be my first question. What do you think?
That's great. I agree with you. I mean, I think bacteria probably has a lot to do with some of these things. Also, when you are stressed too, your skin kind of gets inflamed. So, you know, trying to combat that inflammation with soothing things like, you know, uh, some eucalyptus or some essential oils that you can breathe in and relax, or you can do cold compresses on your face and try to get the skin to relax, or chamomile, you know, tea bags are kind of nice to help depuff the eyes.
Yeah, and you know,
cold ones.
and your tools as well. You know, like I mean, checking that if you're using, you know, a certain kind of facial, you know, cleanser brush, you know, is that clean? Maybe it's time to replace that. You know, I also tell people before, when I wash my face at, you know, at night, I say, did you wash your hands first? You know, it's the same kind of thing. You know, they might have just had a lovely rib dinner, and then they're like, okay, let's like you know.
Oh no!
It's those like little simple things that might, I hope, will be a little light bulb moment to make someone kind of just say, oh, you know, that's interesting. I was gardening and then I didn't wash my hands.
Right.
My face.
Right.
But I also, I mean, if you want to meet, if product in general, like right now I'm trying some facial oils from B3 Balm that I'm really liking. And, you know, as a person with combination skin, usually oil, that idea is if you have oily skin, you shouldn't be using oil on your face, but I actually really like theirs a lot. And I use, to remove makeup, I use a cleansing balm and oil also as well. So oils can actually be very beneficial in your skincare routine, even if you have oily skin. Just the right oil.
Sure.
When they grab coconut oil and, you know, from the kitchen,
right.
You know, keep that in the pan for the vegetables, but you know, keep the skincare.
Also, yeah, figure out like where you need them, because sometimes, you know, we tend to put product all over the place, but you're not necessarily dry everywhere, so you might only need moisturizer maybe here and here, or, you know, wherever it is that you're drier, but then you have areas that are oilier that maybe don't need that much of that. So
absolutely.
So you don't need to slather the whole face with things.
Yeah, I don't need to use my makeup remover on my ears and my neck if there's nothing there. You know, so
right.
mindful of where you're using products.
tend to be more selective into where I put things so that I don't
Mm-hmm.
make, parts that are already oilier
Absolutely.
if I put moisturizer on it. So I'm kind of more selective on where I put different products, I think.
Absolutely. Like if you only
Yeah.
have acne in this area and it tends to be a more drying acne product, I
Yeah.
wouldn't put it on my forehead where there's absolutely no acne because then I might just inflame that skin and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have some tips, maybe for like a quick makeup look that we can do when we're doing like this kind of meetings over the
Yeah.
internet and things for people.
Yeah.
What would be a good tip for people
You
at
know,
home?
I talked about kind of establishing a routine again, when you and also just kind of understanding the end goal. Like if you want to be, a person that has great teeth, you're going to make a plan to brush your teeth twice a day and floss and maybe use mouthwash, scrape your tongue. You're going to commit to that because you have the end goal. So I think the same with makeup. It doesn't have to be. We'll watch these videos sometimes of someone piling on product after product after product, and it doesn't have to be that. It can be a 5-minute routine as well. So I think, just like you make your breakfast, I want to be fed today. I want something good to eat. So you set up your coffee maker with your coffee. You know that you have your cereal that you like, or your eggs, or whatever you prefer to eat in the morning. So with makeup, I think the same thing, kind of knowing what your tools are. I like to do, if I want just a very basic look, I like to just fill in my eyebrows a little bit. I feel it just gives them a little polish. If we go back to makeup school instruction, it's about breaking the face up into kind of 3 equal parts, to balance everything. And the brows are kind of the window to the face, whether you have bangs or no bangs. So I like to just run the pencil through my brows kind of quickly, and I use a little concealer under my eyes, usually just kind of around the redness around the sides of the nose. If I have a blemish, just a quick touch spot there. I usually like a cream blush, and I apply it, blush. If I feel a little extra, I might throw it just kind of a wash on the eyelids a little bit. Little mascara. You might use that cream blush for your lips as well, or a different lip color. And then you're done. I mean, that's pretty much it. And if you have time, throw in an eye pencil. If you wanted to add some eyeliner. And I think once you kind of get in the habit of just those, maybe just do those 2 things. Like maybe it's just mascara and under eye concealer. And once you get in the habit of that, then you can build upon it. And you'll find that your speed is quicker, and it's kind of creating that routine and that habit, and it's very possible. And like I said, even while we're at home, maybe it's just putting on your favorite lipstick and just starting with that, and that conscious effort. Because if you have a bright red lipstick on, you're not going to be, smushing your face, laying down taking a nap. You're going to be a little more like, hold on, kind of hyper aware of it. So, yeah, I think just whatever brings you joy. Maybe it's a swipe of glitter. I mean, I remember, those gel rolled glitters like back in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Kind of probably drove my parents nuts. But, we just put them like everywhere in random places. And it didn't make any sense, but it just made me happy. And so, I think find that one little product. Maybe just start with one. I'm going from like 5 minutes to less and less, but find that one thing that just. Some people it's perfume, right?
Oh yeah.
Find that one thing that just makes you feel that just a little different than just a little polish, and I think that can really help kind of lift your spirits a little bit. You might say, well, I'm not going anywhere. Why waste my perfume? But if you know that when you wear it, it makes you feel like you're in that special occasion, then why not? Put some on.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I know. I think that fragrance and color both have a way of lifting your spirits. So I think, especially at this time, I think you need some of that because you need to feel positive. And
we can't be in mourning forever. you know?
Yeah, and color and scent are two things that can actually take you out of
Hmm.
feeling depressed and make you a little bit more social, you know, wanting
Absolutely.
to feel more social. Um,
Absolutely.
so, have you noticed that some products are better for video chats that enhance better than others? Like, what would you say that would be something that looks particularly good in these kinds of video conferencing kind of things?
Um, also one thing to be mindful of is your background. You know,
Yeah.
I've
Well,
seen,
yeah, the background is very important. Yes.
because sometimes, if it's because whatever light you might have on your face might reflect that color onto you. So if you,
Right.
like my
Yes.
bedroom is this bright kind of turquoise walls, so it could have that blue color on me. Um, but um, with online, like right now I'm seeing, like, Amber has a very clear picture here. Sometimes video chats come through a little more pixelated than others. So,
Yes.
I think something's better than nothing, you know.
I guess so. Yeah. Yes. That's for
You
sure. Yes.
know,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, probably I would, like you said, color is uplifting. I would stay away from, just clear lip gloss, um,
Yeah.
it's going to do nothing for you unless you have those naturally, those lips that have a lot of,
Yeah.
color to them. Um, I would say, just put something on.
So yeah, I think concealer is really important too because a lot of the times, you know, you have shadows underneath your
Right.
eyes because the lighting isn't quite right. So
Yes.
shadowing is a really big concern. And if you have a lot of shadowing, it makes you look really tired.
Yes.
And you certainly don't want to do that if you're in a meeting with other people that you look
Yeah.
like you're going to fall asleep any minute. So it's like that wouldn't be very good.
I can't remember which business book it was that I was reading, but it was something about, if you were going to, if you were hiring like a heart surgeon, and your heart surgeon showed up in, sweatpants and a t-shirt, and their office looked like a mess, and you wouldn't really know. You're like, is this the person I really want to take advice from and invest in? And so I kind of look at that as well. You know,
Yes.
um, I mean, right now, like full disclosure, my laptop is on like probably 4 different binders, to make it level with my face, as much as
Yes.
possible. I actually have TML, the makeup light, behind my laptop projecting light onto me. You know, um, so I think, if you're in a Zoom chat, maybe like a group chat with work, it's okay to turn the camera off if you need to have a snack or or something.
Yes. Yeah.
But I just think it would go into it that you would want to receive it. Um, if you're
Yeah.
paying for a professional or I mean, everyone knows like we're at home and everything, but I still think that there's a when the window is open, let people see what you want them to see, and if there's stuff you don't want them to see, close it.
Just take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I've been on some Zoom classes, where it's like this,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not very very attractive, and let people know you're wearing clothes unless you're selling a different service.
Yeah.
you know, um, and that helps
Yes.
too. I mean, I have to say, like, full disclosure, I was dealing with postpartum depression after my daughter for about 8 months, and the one thing, because it's a routine that goes again and again, like for 2 hours, of
Yeah.
taking care of a newborn, and but the thing is that I kind of made this vow, actually even well before I had her, to never buy sweatpants. I
Oh, there you
actually
go.
don't own any. Um, and so I have workout clothes, and honestly, like those have spandex in them. I don't want to wear yoga pants all day long. That's a lot of restriction. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather just wear pants and a shirt. So putting on a pair of jeans and a fun shirt is the same mechanisms of doing this with your arms and that with your feet as
Right. Yeah.
pants and like a dirty sweatshirt. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to put clothes on.
No, no, definitely. I agree with that. I mean, whatever you're wearing too, if you're wearing things that are really really loose and that you don't feel the support of
Mm-hmm.
anything, and if you, for example, if you're eating, you you might overeat because you don't have anything actually cinching you, telling you, hey, maybe I shouldn't eat anymore because I'm already feeling full and my pants are getting tight on me. But if you don't have that to remind you, you don't have anything that is actually giving you any support, type of
Right.
thing. So um, that's why I like to wear clothing, clothing that actually is more structured clothing, like
Right.
shirts and pants.
And you
Um,
know, also
yeah,
sometimes your body language too. Like if you are giving a
yeah,
presentation, you know,
yes,
set your computer or your phone or you know whatever your device is up, maybe for you to stand, you know, while you're doing your presentation. Because we have
yeah,
actresses that will wear high heels on set, and as soon as the camera's not on them, they might wear slippers, but they still will put them in it because they notice their posture will change. You know how they
right.
stand with just wearing those shoes. So I think that you know that speaks a lot to kind of everybody. You know, if you're giving your Zoom interview or presentation, but you're kind of you know sitting there like in a downward dog position, it's not going to be very easy to talk to people.
No, no.
So,
Well, it just kind of part of your whole demeanor, and actually it does have something to do with the way that you come across,
mm-hmm.
how you're dressed, or or your makeup and your hair and everything else. It actually does contribute to feeling maybe more confident, or
Yeah,
more
photos are
on your
forever.
game, kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true. It seems very superficial, but it does have a lot to do with your emotional well-being.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, if I didn't wear any makeup for many years, people thought I was like 15 years old, and they did feel like that as well. And I mean, I remember even when I was, yeah, I remember very specifically. I was working on Pirates 2, 3, and I left production early because I was getting married. And one of it was I think it was our transpo captain that he said to me,
Hmm.
he's like, "Oh, for real? You're getting married?" I said, "Yeah." You know, I was getting married. I was 26 at the time, and he said, he came back to me a day later. He said, "You know, if I ever gave you attitude on the first one, I swear I thought you were 14 years old."
Oh my goodness.
You know, because I didn't. I mean, that was some years ago. You know, but I even wore less makeup then because I was, you know, was dressing as the role of the PA, and I admit it, like I just probably didn't wear makeup at all, and I didn't care. And
Yikes.
so, and that was a lesson to me that I was like, gosh, you know, he treated me a certain way because I presented myself in my department in a certain way.
Hmm.
And we actually had a PA on that movie that I remember there was two people that showed up in like cargo shorts and t-shirts, and one gentleman, he wore like nicer dress jeans and a button-down shirt and a really nice watch. I remember that, and I was just like, "Do you know what you're doing tonight?" Like, you know, you might be lifting boxes or all sorts of things. And what was funny was within a week, he got promoted to being, like a, you know, like a higher position, kind of more of an assistant with one of the actors. And I was
Wow.
thinking it's because he dressed like he had
For
this
what he wanted,
for
yeah, the
what he
position that
wanted.
he wanted, yeah. Oh, sure. And
Absolutely.
watches are one of those things that men like hone in on like immediately. It's just the funniest thing. If you ever go into a group
Yeah.
setting that are there's a lot of men, and in the setting, you'll see all of them are all staring at either their watches or their shoes. It seems to be like
No.
the two things that men kind of judge each other on. So it's the funniest thing. It really is. I don't know
No,
what the
that's true. I
equivalent is
mean,
for women. I guess we also look at shoes or purses,
but I've
maybe.
seen that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's like sneaker cleaning companies, like
Yeah.
like it's just sneakers. But I mean, I remember V saying this to me years ago when it was a setup day, I think, for one of the trade shows, and I probably had on my minimal, makeup look, and she looked at me and she's like, and I'll say the G-rated version. She's like, put some makeup on, you're the makeup department, and
It's true.
but it's true. It's true. And so I think, you don't have to, when we think about if they were going to redo period movies, I would hope that if someone made a movie about me in 5 years, they wouldn't make me up to do a makeup like Kim Kardashian, because that's not me and that's not my look. So I'm saying that, like, do your version of you. But do something to, again, like, represent the department that you're running and that you're paying for.
Yeah, you always remind me of Shelley Duvall. I just keep seeing Shelley Duvall when I look at you.
Yes, I made that my Halloween costume a few years ago because a running joke, and even director Pamela Adlon, I was working on Better Things, and she kept forgetting my name, and she's like, the Shelley Duvall girl. And I was like, that's okay.
I'm not the only one.
That's okay.
It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like I'm not the only one.
But it's consistent. I remember in junior high when, kind of Doc Martens came into fashion, in, mainstream, and people would call me Olive Oil, wearing those big, those big boots and this, slender body. So, like, it's followed me kind of, through life. So
that's great.
Well, that's about all. We had one quick question.
Oh,
just
sure.
they want to know what lipsticks we were all wearing. I'm wearing cherry red today, and Gabriella, you're wearing forever red.
Forever
Red. Yeah. What are you wearing?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, I am actually wearing, again, I go back to Clinique. It's one of their chubbies. The chubby looks like a crayon, and I think it's something melon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I just put on a little lip liner underneath it for camera, just so that because it's a pretty sheer color. But I'll say quickly, like, someone showed on one of these makeup Facebook profiles the makeup breakdown for Princess Leia in the original Star Wars, and it was all Clinique.
Really?
Wow.
Clinique, from the skincare, from that astringent to everything was Clinique, and I just thought,
wow.
My gosh! So
wow.
I still really like their lip colors. So.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, you can, as an artist, I mean, you can use anything. It's all tools, right?
Absolutely.
It's all color, tools, and it's what you make with it, really.
Absolutely.
That's what you do with it.
And they just looked it up. Looks like that color is Mega Melon.
Mega Melon.
Exact color.
Yeah. There you go.
The other room to get it, but yeah, it's I'm wearing Mega Melon, and I really like it.
Very cute.
It's like spring. It's on a coral.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's true. That's exactly true. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Claire, for joining us today.
Claire.
That was so cool. Thank you guys for asking questions. And next week, we're also going to have an interview with Erin Kruger McCash, who also is the head of the makeup department for Hollywood. Because there's a lot of Bésame lipsticks in Hollywood, and just a lot of fun stuff. So we're going to be talking to her.
And I will just say, too, because I was working on that show as well, another show of Erin's that hasn't come out yet, that, it was so lovely that the ladies, the actresses that we work on, they would wear these lipsticks all day, and they were like, what is this color? This is so pretty. And we were always like, it's Bésame. So they just love the colors, and they look really beautiful. So
cool. Lovely. So we'll have that next Thursday, and then Tuesday, of course, we have our little tutorials of a little more casual sort. That's it for today. Thank you again, Claire, so much. Gabriella, as always, a delight.
And thanks everyone tuning in today.
Yes. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.